this video, I'm going to be showing you guys the strategy that I use to pass multiple funded accounts and even get my first payout and other consecutive payouts consistently. So yeah, let's jump right into it. On the 4-hour time frame, we can clearly see that the market is bullish, right? We are creating higher highs and higher lows, while we are respecting the lows and disrespecting the highs. So if we're going to mark it out as a market structure, we can see that we create a high, a low, a higher low, a higher high, right? So this high is this high, this low is this low, this high is this high, and so on and so on. So how are we going to capitalize on these moves? Well, if we're going to look at the impulse that broke market structure, you can see that we have internal market structure leaving us lows where the market can react from. In this case, we can see that price had an impulse, it retraced down, and it gave us another impulse. Within this impulse, we are going to see at the lows that we created. If you find it difficult to look at the lows or find significant lows, just drop a time frame lower and you can clearly see the lows that we left. Now, in this case, you can clearly see that we created some trendline liquidity, right? We have consecutive higher lows, fairly close to each other, which is very good liquidity for the market. And as you can see, price takes it out, has some sideways price action, and eventually pushes higher. So what you could have done is you put your entry on the liquidity low, your stop loss on the overall low, and you target a new higher high. That's it. And then, like so, in 2 weeks, you would have a 2-hour trade, which is 2% in 1 month. You don't need to target much higher, right? If you do that on a couple of 100K accounts, easy. And this is only on one pair. This right here, as you can see, is a continuation of the trend, right? We were buying, so we are still going to be looking for buys. What can we see here? We broke a high, we respect a low. We just broke a high on the setup that we took, and as you can see, we respected the low. And now in this case, this is your impulse. So drop down a time frame lower. And where is your significant liquidity? Well, I think it's fairly obvious. It's right over here. So what are we going to do is we're going to wait for the market to give us some bullish market structure so we can enter off of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to let market play out. We're going to see, okay, when does the price come in towards this low? If price does not show us the strength to move towards this low, you can just go on the lower time frame and do the exact same thing we are doing right now. Price has just swept this low. Okay, so we have liquidity. In our case, we're looking for the higher high and higher low continuation. So what we are thinking is we want to create this as a higher low. So we can take an initial position from the low, which just stops below the low, targeting a new overall higher high for a 5R. And what can we also do is we can also, let me put this to the side, is we can also wait for the fractal break in towards the upside. Meaning, if we're going to look on the lower time frame or the individual candlesticks, we're going to see that we are just in a downtrend. We create a low, we create a high, and we create a lower low. Meaning that this is the fractal breakdown, and we want to see a close above this candlestick in order for us to continue the trend. As if we're going to look on the lower time frame, the 1 hour, this is quite a significant break in towards the downside. So if we can see a close above this high, we can fairly say that the market is ready to push higher. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for price to give us that push in towards the upside, closing above this up close candle. So essentially breaking the supply area. So what we're essentially going to do is we're going to wait for the break in towards the upside on the 4-hour time frame. Here we can clearly see the bullish setting in. So what we're going to do is we're going to place our entry on the candle high. Our stops just below the low, and we're just going to target a new higher high. So currently we are inside 2 positions. We are inside the swing position where we entered on the liquidity, and we are in the confirmation position. Overall, I would risk 0.5% in order for us to have a nice trade. So let's say this hits TP, that's 1.75% in the bag while risking only 0.5%. In this case, you are going to have 2.5% in the bag. So this total, with almost zero to no risk, not risking any drawdown on your prop firm accounts, you can clearly see if we enter on the fractal break or on a liquidity, it both plays out. Here you can see that we get the tag in, so as a retrace or the retest in towards the demand zone. And if we're just going to continue the chart now, we can clearly see same thing happen as well. We have liquidity. If we're going to go on the 1 hour to identify it more clearly. So on the 1 hour, we can see that we have the liquidity sweep. You can see we have the break lower, we have the break higher. And now we can, if we want, enter a new position on the fractal break, stops below the low. You could have targeted a new higher high on the 1 hour, or you could have just been patient and let these two trades play out. And as you can see, price gets easily pushed in towards the upside, in towards your take profit. Trading is not as hard as people are saying. The hardest part in trading is getting yourself a strategy, is getting yourself a rule-based model. It doesn't matter what strategy you're trading, even if it's scalping 5-minute, 15-minute, 4-hour, 1 hour, daily, weekly, monthly, you need a rule set for you to trade. If not, you will just be gambling, taking positions, maybe getting to drawdown of 5% in total of your floating positions and be stopped out. If you just apply the same thing that I do every single day, you will manage to passive fund that account, get a payout, and maybe even scale up to 100K, 200K, 300K on funded accounts. If you need any help, make sure to join the Discord down below. If we reach 50 members, I will start posting calls daily over there, maybe even some explanation videos. And if you need a broker or a prop firm, make sure to check the link in the description out as well. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.